So after 4 years with villagers having nothing new to say, there is some new villager dialogue coming within the 3.0 update. Now, villager dialogue and interactions have been one of the most controversial parts of Animal Crossing New Horizons, with a lot of people comparing it to some of the older Animal Crossing games where the villagers felt a lot more realistic and lifelike with more interesting things to say. And obviously, this late into the lifespan of New Horizons, things aren't going to change significantly sadly, although we can hope they've listened to our feedback for the next game. But for those of you who are just happy to see new things said by the characters in this game after 4 years of absolutely the same dialogue again and again and again, you will definitely be happy because we know for a fact there is new dialogue coming, and we can infer some of the other new dialogue that will be added in as well. And that's not to mention that any of the other potential new dialogue in the game that we don't know about yet, as Nintendo hasn't showed everything off with this new trailer. So, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at where you'll be able to see new dialogue from villagers within the 3.0 update, as well as some other places where you should be able to see new dialogue too. So, leave a like on the video and let's jump straight into this. So the bulk of new dialogue that we're going to see within the 3.0 update that has been confirmed so far is coming from the hotel feature, which of course significantly is related to villagers. With this feature, you're designing rooms for potential hotel guests and special NPCs and such, so like with other features they added in the game that are similar to this, such as the Happy Home Paradise DLC and the Roost, you should be able to see a lot of unique and exclusive dialogue, and some of that was previewed within the trailer. For example, when you find a tourist wandering your island before you recruit them to come stay at the hotel, you will get some new dialogue from them. This will be different for each and every one of the personalities, and perhaps they'll have multiple sets of things they can say when you find them, just so it's a bit interesting. We also know that from the official Japanese website, that villagers will be free to roam your island if they're staying at the hotel, which means that effectively it is like a way of having extra villagers living on your island. It's kind of like a subtle way of them increasing the cap of villagers up from 10. Now, of course, if you find your villagers fairly robotic and boring, this might not be the most exciting thing for you, but for me personally, I will be happy to see more characters roaming around the island, especially as given we can only have 10, there are many different villagers I'd like to have, but I can't. And they will all have their own exclusive dialogue as well, which should relate to their experience as a guest on your hotel. They will say things about the island and how their experience has been going, which is really interesting. So there should be a lot of unique dialogue related to the fact that they're out sightseeing. These guests can actually do a lot of different things around your island and effectively act like they are villagers. You can find them interacting with furniture, sitting down. You can even find them within the stores on your island as well. So the fact of the matter is there will be a lot of new dialogue related to that in special locations too. You'll probably get unique dialogue for when they're shopping in the Able Sisters and Nook's Cranny. Again, I'm not saying this will fix all of the issues with villager interactivity and dialogue in the game. I'm purely just saying that if you have been missing out on brand new things for your villagers to say, or these guests in this case, then you'll get plenty here, which is good. We can also see from the trailer that when guests stay in the hotel, for example Punchy in this little clip's case, there will be new dialogue related to that as well, which will be different than the dialogue when they're roaming your island. So even more exclusive dialogue related to the hotel that you can experience. There's going to be probably a lot here, just like there was in Happy Home Paradise, which is good. Now, of course, these are technically guests, not your own villagers, but it's fairly safe to say that your villagers will also have new dialogue if you invite them into the hotel. We haven't seen anything so far that indicates you can't invite your villagers, especially if you've got their amiibo, I'm guessing. So if that's the case, then they would probably have special dialogue related to them staying at the hotel and what their experience is like that's unique to them. Another big question that has been raised, and is definitely very likely, is whether villagers will actually remember you and have special dialogue for that when they come to the hotel, having lived on your island previously. We have yet to see this confirmed, but given the fact that villagers can remember you when invited to the Roost via amiibo, it's fairly safe to say this will be a thing. So, for all of those villagers which have been long removed from your island, they've disappeared, gone away, potentially they can come back either through amiibo or maybe even randomly seemingly, and it seems like they will remember you, which is fantastic. So that should make up for some really interesting interactions, kind of like in Animal Crossing New Leaf, where the old villagers who used to live in your town would wander Main Street and the shops. It made it feel a lot more lively, honestly, and a lot more realistic that they would kind of come back sometimes and do some shopping. So if that is fully the case with the hotel, I think we're looking at a feature that does do some good for the villagers in New Horizons, something we have sorely been needing. The same of course will apply to the special characters that you invite to the hotel too. They will have new exclusive dialogue which you can see only here, which is really cool. Now, a huge question that I've had is whether special characters will be able to wander the island after you've invited them to the hotel. Because if they can, that would really be the first time in any Animal Crossing game where we can have pretty much any special character wandering around without an actual purpose. Usually they've got purposes like Flick will help get you those models and such, same with CJ, you might see Leaf selling things, but imagine if they could wander around your island while staying as a guest and sort of act like an extra villager. That would be so cool, especially for some of those characters which aren't really super present in this game, like Gracie, Pete, Phyllis, you name it. If that's the case, then there would definitely be a lot of dialogue for them too, but that's just speculation on my part at this current time, as there is no evidence yet whether special characters will be able to wander around. I certainly hope so though. We can also safely infer that we will get lots of new dialogue just related to the new features and additions to the game, as they've done with every major update. It might be kind of hard to see some of this at first, but you will most likely have villagers talking about things like Slumber Islands. You'll see them talking about the hotel. They might even mention the fact that Resetti has appeared on the island, or talk about some of those really cool collaboration items from Nintendo, just to give you some pointers about how to get them. The thing about dialogue in New Horizons is there's actually a lot of it, but it tends to be very situational and you have to unlock certain requirements to be able to see it, so a lot of people don't realize that a ton of it is there. I'm really hoping they will add a significant amount of new dialogue within this update for general things, because it will make the game have a lot more longevity and just make our islands feel even more exciting. I do love the fact that effectively now we can have extra villagers living on our island, but it'll be even better if they have a ton of new dialogue for us to enjoy, as well as the villagers which are currently living here too. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Would you like to see lots of new dialogue within the game? What are some things they could do to improve villagers? If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe and turn on notifications for more. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members. If you want to help support my content and get rewarded for doing so, consider clicking the join button below or the link in the description to become a channel member.